So here we are on 10.4, solving polynomial equations in factored form. Something that's going to throw you off, and the reason is because it is not, you don't understand why you're doing this, and we're kind of building a house while we're holding up the roof in this situation. So you're just going to have to trust the fact that we're going to work through these problems, and then you'll understand next section what these problems look like or why we would set up these problems first. What they're asking you to do is, in this case, an example, by the way, one of the terms that you need to know is the factored form is what you see here, where you have a two factored numbers, or I guess these are called terms, from a polynomial. So in the case over here where x squared minus 9 is equal to 0, that was factored out, and that became those two numbers, and I think there's a mistake in there because that's actually should be x, let me cross that out, that's wrong, minus 3, and it should be x minus 3 and times x plus 3, and if you look at this, if you factored this out and multiplied all these things out, you'd end up with at the end, if you multiply this times this, it's x squared, and this times this is negative 3x, and this times x is plus 3x, and this times x is a negative 9. X squared minus 9 is my original answer, which is right here. So the factored form in this is x minus 3, x plus 3. And I'll show you how to do that in the next section. First of all, what they want you to do is they want you to set x to 0. Each one of these different parentheses need to be set to 0. So let's do this. X minus 4, which is this one goes here, is equal to 0. And let's put this one over here, which is x plus 1 is equal to 0. Let's get x by itself, or isolate the variable x, like is a proper term for that. And x plus 4, x is equal to positive 4, minus 1 minus 1. X is equal to a negative 1, and that's your answer, actually. You're looking for x is equal to a positive 4, and x is equal to a 1. That's it. Pretty easy. It's a little confusing, but it's pretty easy because all you're doing is setting both of these parentheses to 0, and then you're just finding what x means. This one gets a little bit challenging because you have to conceptually understand that x plus 8 squared really means x plus 8 times x plus 8. Let's set both of those to 0. X plus 8 is equal to 0 minus 8 minus 8. X is equal to a negative 8 for both of these. So there's only one answer here because x is equal to a negative 8 for both of these. There's just one solution for this. No, I'm making a mistake somewhere. I don't know what I was thinking. That's right. Of course I'm right. These videos are always right. And no one makes mistakes in these videos. Just kidding. Okay, so now this third example becomes, once again, we need to think of this as x minus 2 times x minus 2. And since these are the same, we'll set the same x minus 2 is equal to 0, and x minus 2 is equal to 0, and that's plus 2 plus 2, x is equal to a positive 2. Well, the same one goes for this term, this expression, which x is equal to a positive 2. So my answer is really just 2. The only possible solution for x is 2. So the question is, what does this really mean? And what this means is that if we look at a parabola, because we've been speaking about parabolas, I'm going to change my color here. If you have a parabola that crosses my x-axis, and in this case, let's say this parabola crosses my x-axis at 1, 2, 3, and 1 and 2. That the solution, or the x's in this case, that are for this are here and here, where x is equal to a negative 2 and x is equal to a 3. And so in the parabola here, the x would be equal to, or where the parabola crosses the x-axis is 4 and negative 1. Okay, well, this one I only have one answer. This one doesn't make sense to me because it only has one answer. So let's go back to the possibility of parabolas in this case. Actually, let's use this one because my chart is a little bit easier to do right here. X is equal to 2. So I know that my parabola is crossing x at 2, which would mean that my parabola would have to do one of these right there. And it just touches 2 and then changes direction and goes back up the other way. So for this unit, all you really have to know is that you're setting x, the two terms, to 0, and then you individually determine what each one is equal, what x is equal to.